What's up, everybody? So we're back out in the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode we are going to wrap up one of the builds that I forged on one of my weekend live streams. So the live streams that I do on Saturdays where I forge something, this one right here was all forged. It's a fully integral knife. So the handle, of course, the full profile, everything was all done. I did clean it up a little bit on the 2x72, just kind of smoothed out some of the spine area and some of the belly. We didn't take hardly any material off of it. This was the profile that we forged in that episode or in that live stream. And of course, I'm going to leave a link for the live stream in the comment section. So if you want to go check out the live stream where we actually forged this, you'll get to see that, in fact, this is what it looked like when we got done forging. Now, of course, cool thing about this, we don't have to do any type of handles because, as you can see here, this would be the front of handle scales if I did that. All of that was forged in. It's got a full integral bolster, handle, everything. My goal is, after I get done grinding the bevels, for the weight balance to be right at where the finger choil is. So right here, right now, it is just in front. Let's see, it's about right there. So it's just in front of that. It's just right where the bolster goes down into the blade. But if I come back here to where that finger choil is, the blade's a little heavy. So whenever I grind the bevels in and do all of that, my goal is for the weight to be perfectly 50-50 balance, and it'd be pretty cool. So we're gonna be doing some fun stuff to this, making it to where it looks really cool. We need to start off by doing some pre-heat treat bevel grinding, and then we're going to go ahead do our, the whole normalizing, thermocycling, heat treating cycles on this. It's 5160, so we're just going to do a normal 5160 heat treat on this. Finish grinding the bevels, doing some hand sanding, getting the finish exactly how we want it. Let's go ahead, let's jump into this, and let's get this thing knocked out. So we're going to be working with a 36 grit purple ceramic belt from Phoenix Abrasives. I've got it overhung off the side over here about 1/8 of an inch. We're going to be grinding on this side right here. Now my goal is to kind of get to this little line that we drew here. Now we're not going to be using a plunge line jig or anything like that, but with these preheat treats, I don't want to go past this line. So I'm going to be looking straight down on here. So eyes straight down the belt. And we're going to be grinding and just doing some preheat treat bevels. I already have the edge centered right now. You can see these little micro bevels that we have right here. That was just going through and making sure that my edge was a perfect thickness all the way down. Now I'm not going to be going through and trying to scribe a center line or anything like that. I'm going to do that by eye with this. But we're going to start off coming in here, a little bit of an angle, grind in some preheat treat bevels, and then go ahead and do our heat treat process. So one of the things that I want to do now is go through and texture a little bit of the spine and the belly and things like that. Just kind of give it a little bit of a texture. We're using the ball peen to do this and just working our way around, going on both sides here. We're not trying to put a big deep texture, we just want a little bit of a texture. And this needs to be done prior to heat treat because we're going to be quenching this entire blade, and I want that oil finish that's going to be on here. You'll see that whenever we get done. it's going to be a nice, rustic, rough finish on there. So just like normal, we want to take our Nicholson file, go over that edge, get rid of the decarb layer. Once we get that done, take our 65 HRC file, go across it. We know that's nice and hard, so we can go ahead, take it and temper it. We're going to temper this at 400 degrees for 2 hours, just a normal standard 400 degrees. And then go ahead and bring that down. So you want to see a magic trick? Yeah, that's not the magic trick that I would typically like to show people, but you know how it goes. You know, it's just it's got a Bluetooth tip. The tip's Bluetooth, and it doesn't have a very good signal right now. So yeah, that broke. Now what ended up happening here was I had it clamped up in a straightening jig, which is basically just a piece of angle iron, a couple of clamps. The tip had kind of warped just a little bit to one side, and I had clamped it and just pulled it over a little bit so that whenever it was tempering, it'd straighten out. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just did my thing where I used the straightening hammer, the little ball peen setup that I have. It would have probably been a lot better. But you know what? Tips break. It is a thing that happens. I put, I guess, just a little bit too much pressure on it whenever it was going into it, and it just cracked. Grain looks good. It's not oversized. It's not super gritty or anything like that. But, you know, it did happen. This did break. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make a smaller knife. You know how they say it? You know, knife makers don't make mistakes. They make smaller knives. So I did end up marking on this. We're going to do kind of like a sheep's foot little profile on here. I think it's going to look really good. And that's the route that I'm going to go with this. So we're going to go ahead and get on the 2x72 and grind this profile the rest of the way. Now, it doesn't have the exact look that I will want it to have on the actual spine of this, so I might end up bluing that or whatever, but the handle turned out exactly how I wanted it to. So it's got that oiled finish from being quenched, and it's got that slight texture from the ball peen, the forged texture on there, all the way around it, across the back side there, all the way down the spine of the handle. So the handle itself has a really cool texture. It's nice and smooth. It's a comfortable but still grippy handle, and I think this is going to work perfectly. Now we just need the blade to work perfectly, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I haven't decided if I'm going to take the actual finish off of this and hand sand that. I feel like I probably will, just because I think it would look really cool if I hand sanded the bevels and I had just a nice contrast between the different finishes, but we're going to play that by ear. First things first, like I said, let's grind this down and go ahead and fix this profile. So now we're going to go ahead and just gun blue that area that I ended up having to profile and grind down and smooth out. We're just going to use some 4440 gun blue on a Q-tip. Blend it back into the area that we already have coated. Now this is all going to be stonewash, so I might actually go through and just gun blue a decent part of it. This is all going to be kind of experimental anyways. There's definitely some people out there telling me, you really need to put gloves on for that. And they are probably true, or right. Okay, I'm going to go clean this off, and then basically all I'm going to do is go hot, soapy water, clean off the whole entire thing, and then you'll see the next step after that. Alright, so I tend to do more experimental stuff with things that end up going awry, so things that end up messing up. Now, I'm happy that this one messed up because I really like this profile, but we're just going to kind of mess around with the finish on this. So the finish was just the finish that you get after you quench, and then you do your tempering process, and then all I did was maker's mark, did the gun bluing on the little, well, basically the whole entire blade. But now we're just going to put it in our stonewashing solution, which all this is, let me go ahead and show you that. All this is aquarium rocks and WD-40. We're going to put that up in there, close it off. Now, one of the tricks to this, to get a good finish, if you're stonewashing like this, is to go a lot of different directions. So go this way, go this way, go this way, go this way, and that way you get a nice even finish on it as opposed to a bunch of scratches that go one way or the other. You want the scratches to go everywhere to get that stonewash. Give you a little close-up of this. So it evened out the finish a little bit on the bevels there. That looks good, but what I really like is the fact that we got a nice stone wash down the spine, and now this blends into this area here. It's not a big contrast between the two. Then of course you can see where the texture starts. Now that that stone wash took all the tips off of the peaks off of the forged texture that's on there. That's looking good. Around the back, that's looking good. I'm really liking how this is turning out. So, experiment successful. Now we got to go ahead, put an edge on it, get this thing wrapped up. So if you're wondering about these belts here, they're by Pro Sharpening Supply, and you can get them for 1x30s. They have several different grits for actually sharpening, plus these leather stropping belts. It is definitely, they do the trick. You know, they put in work. Alright guys, now was this the blade that we were planning to make? Nope. You know, originally it was supposed to have this this tip on it right here. But I'm gonna be real. I actually really like this profile. I think that this turned out really, really nice. I like this profile more than the original profile. And I'm happy that it kind of had a mess up on it, so it forced me to do what I normally do and just kind of experiment with things. I really like the finish that's on it. I like that you can see all the texture on the handle all the way around it. Went ahead and threw a little lanyard on there. Again, a lot of the lanyards that I do are meant to where you can actually hook it onto a hook or a tree branch or something like that. But that turned out real cool. I like the front of it. You know, I went ahead and rounded all of this to go in with the handle real well. But that is looking real good. So, you know, did we lose the tip? Yes, but it was just the tip. And it is what it is. We got a nice, cool knife, an integral bolster, integral handled knife on there. And I like that it looks like it actually has the end of handle scales on here with this ridge that goes across there. Like that just turned out real cool. I really like it. And I'm really interested to know what y'all think about that. Full integral knife. It's weighted right where I wanted it. So balanced right there at the finger choil, right where your index finger is going to be. I really think that that is a super nice balanced knife. And we did what we were supposed to do. We made the knife that we were supposed to make. The other knife wasn't meant to happen. It snapped, took the tip off, and now we have this. You know, how they always say, knife makers don't make mistakes, we make smaller knives. Smaller knife, not a mistake, because I love the way this looks. Now again, y'all let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about it. So in the next video, well, I guess it's really a live stream, not so much a video, we're going to be working on a new forging project. We're going to be forging something out. I don't know exactly what we're going to forge just yet. I'm going to play with some ideas, and we're going to go ahead and do that. But yes, we will have a live stream forging event this Saturday. Again, I think that on this one, we're going to start at 6:30 because I think that that's the sweet spot between 6 and 7. It lets me start a little bit earlier so we can finish a little bit earlier. But I think we're going to do 6:30 p.m. I'll do a notification for y'all so y'all know all of that. But in the next Shop Talk Tuesday video, we're going to be working on one of the projects that I've wanted to work on for a little while. It's actually sitting right over here. This guy right here. This is the one that we're working on starting next week. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to have a real nice distal taper. The spine right here where the ricasso is almost 3/8 of an inch thick. So it's going to have some real cool profiles or real cool lines and things like that to it. So this is the next Shop Talk Tuesday build. I'm going to go ahead and start it. Guys, let's go ahead, end it here. If y'all would, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tell me what you think about this. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.